Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome back to Breathe More. I want to go back to my basics today on this episode. I just got back from a conference put on by We All Grow, which has such a special place in my heart. This is the largest Latina network in the country, in the US. And they were actually the first organization that gave me my big break. Back in 2017, I was accepted to facilitate breath work at their first wellness day, which then happened in the spring of 2018. It was the first time that I held space for like 100 people at the same time. It was the first time where I got to share this gift of breath work with my people, con mis Latinas, like other people of color, and to see how guiding them to connect with their breath, like what it opened up in them. Like so many of the people I held space for at that time, like I know that their life has been completely changed, shifted, up leveled. And a lot of them has shared with me that the thing that disrupted everything was that one breathwork class that they did with me. And a lot of them actually continue to work with me along the year. So, fast forward to last week where I attended a conference that they were hosting. And I was so touched that so many people came up to me during the conference to thank me about the impact that my work and my guidance has had in their life. Some of them brought up my community gatherings, which was something that I was hosting on a weekly basis during the pandemic, where it was a safe space for people to just show up, breathe, listen to amazing music, hear my channeled messages, and process such a stressful and scary time in their life. And it just reminded me and made me feel so grateful that I found this tool for myself over 10 years ago. And that I followed that whisper from my soul that said, you need to learn how to do this so you can share it with more people. I didn't have any intention at the time to make it into a business. This was just something that I was going to share with my friends and my family and just do it once in a while here and there. But 10 years later, here we are, right? Where I have a podcast about it, where I'm talking about it, where I have worked with so many people, thousands of people now at this point have held space from family members who are breathing together to founders of companies to celebrities, corporations. It's been really incredible. And no matter what my offerings are, whether I'm doing business coaching or I'm doing leadership coaching or I'm hosting a moon circle, like at the core of everything that I do, I still turn to breath work as a tool to help my clients up level their life, accomplish their goals. And so I wanted to talk about why is it so powerful? Why do I continue to go back to it? Why does it create such change in people's lives? And invite you to attend my upcoming workshops, where for the next 3 weeks, I will be having a breathwork session. One of them will be virtual, one will be in person in Los Angeles, and then the other one will be a weekend of breathing in Joshua Tree in such a powerful healing vortex. So let's dive into the power of breathwork. So I have shared this story a lot. If you're have known me for a while by heart, if you're new to my work, I think it's important to share how I got into this and how it has helped me and how now I use it to help my clients achieve their goals. So back over 10 years ago, before I discovered breath work, my whole life I struggled with anxiety, high functioning anxiety, where it didn't really disrupt my day to day life. And also, I didn't even know that's what I had. Like it was just symptoms that I had, constant worry, catastrophic thoughts. It was in my 20s that then the anxiety that I have had my whole life as a child then started to show physical manifestations of it. So I started to develop some nervous tics. My sleep was being affected. I had digestive issues. I also didn't trust myself. Like there were just little things where I was like, that's strange, created a pause. But again, I didn't know what it was. And I didn't pay too much attention to it either because a lot of the symptoms that I was experiencing, my family members had them, like my parents had it. So it was considered normal to feel this way, to struggle with your sleep, to have stomach issues. So I didn't pay too much attention to it until things got really bad. And then I started to have terrible IBS issues. Like my physical symptoms became even worse. And then also, I was just really struggling with life where I had depression. I felt so lost. I felt like everything around me was crumbling. And while I was in therapy, I loved having all the awareness and understanding of how my past experiences, how I grew up, navigating a childhood home that had a parent who's an addict, and then also being first generation. Like there were a lot of things, unresolved things that my body was still carrying. And I didn't know that because I experienced that, that it followed me into adulthood. And so I started to unpack. And the type of psychotherapy that my therapist used is called ISTDP, Intensive Short Term Dynamic Psychotherapy. I loved it. I was really fortunate to had manifested an incredible therapist where not only did she bring awareness to what I just shared with you, but also helped me get into my body and started to teach me how my body was holding on to trauma. So she also introduced me to trauma release exercises. And then during the time is when I discovered breath work. And that just unlocked something where it took my healing to another level. It actually accelerated my healing as well. And I was so excited by it that I actually told my therapist, I'm like, hey, I discovered this thing called breath work. It's really amazing. You should try it. And so she did. And from there, like it just planted the seed. All along this whole time, I was someone who always loved to help people. Yes, savior complex was really big in my life. I guess still is in my life, except for now I have boundaries with it. And so when I discovered breath work and I just kept doing it for myself to help my healing journey, I got the nudge of like, hey, I want to learn how to do this. Like, I want to hold space for people. Is there a training? Who can I learn from to do this? So I found out who the teacher of my breathwork teacher was. And so I did, I think it was 4 levels of training. And right away, after my first intensive weekend of training, that's when I started to host my first circle of breath work. And so with that, there were just 4 people. It was my sister and 2 of my friends and their pets, their dogs. And it was incredible. Like they cried. It was so profound and healing. And it just naturally evolved. And so, what breathwork does, and if you don't know what it is, breathwork, I like to describe it as an active form of meditating. It's a way of manipulating our breath so that we can change the way that we feel. When you are stressed out, when you're feeling anxious, I'm sure someone who was nearby has told you, calm down, just take a deep breath. And so, what that does, you're basically doing breath work. By taking that slow, deep breath, you're creating a disruption in whatever's going on in your life at that moment or in your mind. And you're actually able to switch your nervous system. Just imagine that there's a light switch, and we're able to go from being in a high alert state, the sympathetic, where your unconscious mind, your nervous system, your whole body, it's trying to assess or it feels that you're in a dangerous situation. So it's trying to figure out, what do I do right now? Do I run? Do I fight? Do I freeze so I don't get killed on a basic primitive level? But a lot of times we're not, most times, luckily, we're not in that high level of danger. However, our body is responding as if it were. And so, as a way to gain clarity in the situation, as a way to not have automatic reactions or trauma responses, we can connect with our breath to clear our mind, to arrive to this present moment, to assess the situation, and then be able to respond to what's happening. And I take this work even deeper. So that's if we're like just out and about in our day and we're feeling stressed out, right? Taking some slow, gentle breaths is a great way to calm ourselves down, get clear, and then make a decision on what we need to do, if anything. The way that I use it is in a meditative state. So I'm guiding you to not just take one deep breath, but we are actively breathing for about 20 minutes. And you're breathing first using your diaphragm. Then you're taking a second breath up into your heart. So it's a 2-stage breathing pattern. And then you exhale. And I also love combining music therapy into it. So every playlist that I create takes us on a journey. I also love incorporating like sound baths with it. So it's an experience that you go into. The goal still is to regulate your nervous system, be in a place where you are feeling safe so that then we're able to gain clarity and start to release, start to process, or continue to process, transmute, gain clarity on past experiences. Because even if we don't want to acknowledge and we want to leave the past in the past and act as if, what we're feeling, what we're experiencing is just based on what's happening in our life today, is not true. We are a collection of not just on our own past experiences, but ancestral as well. And once you start to have awareness, once you start to go on this personal development journey and healing journey, you quickly are able to identify, oh, that resentment is still there. That anger is still there. That lack of safety is still there. I recently shared my experience of dealing with toxic mold, moving a ton here in Idlewild, all of that. What I have found is because I ask myself, why do I continue experiencing this? What is going on? Can I take a break? Can my body just heal? Can I just be in a clean space where there's no mold or toxins? And so, what I realized by asking those questions, by me doing the work, by connecting with my breath, is that I am truly ready to heal an ancestral wound of deeply ingrained belief that no matter where I am not safe. And this, I say ancestral because it doesn't feel like something that I experienced in this lifetime. Yes, I grew up in a household where there was a lot of chaos, where there were a lot of moments that I didn't feel safe, but I've done that work. And yet this deep rooted lack of safety is still within me. And so I've asked myself, what is this about? Where does this come from? And I truly feel that it's that. I have been trying to anchor safety into a home, into a physical building, and it just hasn't worked out. I have tried to anchor safety into my business by it providing financial means for me to live. That hasn't felt right. So I got to find within myself that anchor of safety so that no matter what is happening in my life, I still at the core feel safe. I still at the core trust that I'm going to figure it out, that things are going to change. And so breathwork is a tool that I recently continue to use like every single day of my life to help me gain that clarity. And that's where the breakthroughs happen. This is why I have clients who tell me that they've been in therapy their whole life and not had the breakthroughs that they've had by doing breathwork with me. So there's an extra layer of how I hold space that makes it unique. So yes, connecting with your breath, just using this tool of oxygenating your body, of changing the balance of CO2 and oxygen creates a different state. Like some people describe a feeling of high. Because a lot of times as well, when we're stressed out and overwhelmed, we're holding our breath. We're not breathing properly. And so dropping down to taking those deep breaths, to moving energy using our breath will shift how you feel and how you're thinking. The other part to this, in addition to the sound therapy, is that I'm a clairvoyant. I'm clairaudient. So I am channeling messages for my clients as they're breathing. I am like, I tell them, imagine that I'm the passenger, you're the driver, you're in control, and I have a map. And I'm just communicating, like, okay, let's turn left here and see what's here, or let's continue going straight. But at the end of the day, you have the choice whether or not we make that turn. So, with my gifts, my intuitive gifts, I'm able to quickly point what part of you is feeling unsafe, what part of you needs attention, what part of you needs to feel loved, what are beliefs, stories, experiences that are ready to be healed, reprogrammed. Let's create a new neurological pathway in your mind so that the same story, the same beliefs, the same action doesn't continue to show up in your life over and over and over again because you have told me that you don't want that anymore. And so life is really stressful right now. We had the pandemic that kind of brought everything to the surface, right? It was the opportunity for us to, all right, really look at ourselves, reassess our life, do some healing. And then I feel like we kind of forgot a little bit and now we are back. It feels like the world is falling apart and it's scary. We have world events, we have election, we have natural events, like things are crazy. And I'm seeing it in my community. I'm seeing it in my clients where people are so overwhelmed. They are so tired. They don't know what else to do. And so this month I decided to go back to basics. And so that's why every week I've been hosting breathwork classes to give you this tool to help you feel empowered again, to help you connect with a sense of hope, to help you heal, to help you shift your energy. And so I invite you to sign up and attend one of my workshops. But here today in this podcast, I also want to guide us in a little practice just to ground our energy, connect with your breath. So if you're able to, I'm going to invite you now to sit back and close your eyes. If you're multitasking, you can still do this practice. So I'm going to first invite you to take a slow, deep inhale in through your nose. And then we're going to take a slow, long exhale out of our mouth. Good. Deep breath in through your nose. Slow, long exhale out of your mouth. Great. Continue to do that. As you're taking these slow, gentle breaths, readjust your body. So roll back your shoulders, move your neck. If you're seated, rotate your hips. Feel free to shake your hands. We're assisting your body as well to release physical tension that it's holding. But as you're slowly and gently breathing, we're going to tell your body that in this moment you are safe, you're not alone, you are supported. And it's okay to let go. It's okay to slow down, to rest, to be present in this moment with your breath. And so, with those invitations, with these slow, gentle, deep breaths, with moving your body, can you start to sense in your energy, in your physical body, a softening happening? Maybe even an opening. We're going to help your body calm down and release even more by grounding our body. So if you're standing, if you're walking, just imagine that you have roots growing out of your feet. If you're seated, imagine that at the base of your spine, you have the roots growing down into the earth. So we're creating a connection with the earth. Again, you are not alone. You are supported. You don't have to carry everything by yourself. And so now imagine that your body is letting go on a deeper level. Energies that don't belong to you, problems, worries, impossibilities, your family's energy, your pet's energy, your coworkers, your boss, your business, whatever it is. Let it go, let it go, let it go. As you're continuing to breathe, Now you're creating more space for you. The other reason I love breathwork, we create space for our inner peace, for our healing, for our power, for our light, for our voice, our ideas, our dreams, for what we desire in life. And we let go of the things that we no longer want. And so, as you're creating this space for what you desire, bring it into your heart. Think about it. Today, in this moment, what do you desire? Ask for that miracle, ask for that support, reminding you that you are deserving of it, that you are ready to receive it. And so allow your heart to be open to declare these goals, these desires, these wishes, but also the space to receive. Checking in again with your body, feeling a deeper sense of relaxation and safety and worthiness. And before we come back, inviting you to say to yourself something positive, an affirmation, a reminder, just giving yourself some love. And then when you're ready, we're going to take a deep breath in and exhale. Deep breath in and exhale. One more deep breath in and exhale. If you closed your eyes, we're going to open them. We're going to wiggle our fingers and toes and come back to this present moment. How are you feeling? Do you see how simple and powerful it is to connect with our breath, to slow down, to change what we're thinking? And that's what we're going to be doing in the next couple of weeks. So I invite you again, click on the show notes to sign up to my upcoming workshop. Join us in Joshua Tree. Let's breathe in this magical, healing, powerful vortex under the stars with a bonfire. It's going to be amazing. If you're in LA, join me as well this upcoming week on Saturday, where I'm going to be doing a breathwork session in person. And then I have another virtual session on October 24th. So I can't wait to hold space for you. I can't wait for us to move our energy, to feel empowered, to manifest by using breath work. Share with me how you're feeling after this mini practice. I always love to hear from you. And sending you so much love, grateful for you, and we'll be back real soon.